We'll call the meeting to order. Would everyone please rise and salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have roll call?
Counselor Warner?
Here.
Counselor Hartbath?
Here.
Counselor McCormick? Here. Counselor Jaquin?
Here.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Here. Okay, we're going into a... I didn't bring that contract in.
You got to read it.
I doubt it. We're going to a public hearing over Time Warner. Does anyone have any questions on that?
On what?
Time Warner?
Yeah, what about Time Warner?
It's basically, we just have to have a public hearing on renewing the contract with them for being in our township with cable TV. It's a formality, basically.
According to state law, 10-year agreement.
Is there anybody else expressed an interest in serving the town?
Not to my knowledge.
There's been a lot of people who are complaining about the rates going up. Does the board have any thing to say on that?
No, that's all controlled to the state.
I may be able to answer that. I'm from Time Warner. I'm the manager of the Syracuse operation, which includes our Fulton operation. What we're asking for is for the town, as you said, to renew our agreement under which we've operated for the last probably 10, 15 years. The agreement that we're asking for is another 10-year agreement. It is a non-exclusive agreement. If the town at some point was desirous of having another operator and they were to express interest in serving the town, that's fine. The agreement between Time Warner and the town does not give us the sole right to be the only operator in the town. I'm not sure if that answered the question.
What about the rates?
The rates, there are some rates that are regulated by the state. There's some that are regulated by the federal government, and there are some that are not regulated at all. The lowest level of service, which in this system is about 13 channels, is regulated by the state. And, depending on the programming that's on those 13 channels, pretty much determines the rate. The next level of service, which is called standard, which is where you find ESPN and CNN, and those are regulated by the FCC. Above and beyond that, the pay services, pay-per-view, and this other package of channels that we have are not regulated.
And so the only agreement with Volney is to be able to sell your service in Volney.
Pretty much the nuts and bolts of the agreement with the town is for us to use the right-of-way in the town to string our wires, whether above ground or underground, to provide service.
Does the town get any tax off that?
The town gets a franchise fee. We pay a tax, like a property tax, on our facilities in the town. In addition, we collect a franchise fee that the users of the service pay a franchise fee that is collected by us on the bill and paid to the town on a quarterly basis. That last year, that amount was about $13,600. It's, I believe it's 3% of the bill, a subscriber's bill. There's a line item on there that says franchise fee. We collect it, and it's paid back to the town.
Any other questions?
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye. Okay, now we'll go right into our regular town board meeting, and we'll dispense from roll call. Announcements and communications.
The board is sending 2 letters out, probably tomorrow, if not first of next week, to our 2 new industries coming into the town. The first one is to Christdale, and I just want to read it to you so you know it's going to be sent to them. We, the Volney Town Board, would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our community. We take great pride in our community and its residents and feel that Christdale has made an excellent choice by locating in our town. We realize the importance of Christdale to our area and the benefits associated with this new type of industry. Christdale will be a great addition to the town of Volney. We are extending to you our sincerest welcome, and we will endeavor to be of assistance in any way we can to make the transition to the town of Volney go smoothly. Our town board meets on the 2nd Thursday of each month at 7 p.m. The next meeting is scheduled for March 12th at 7. We are in hopes that it will be possible for you or a representative to attend so we can introduce you in person and via TV to our town of Volney family. You may call the town clerk at 598-8288, the supervisor, Dennis Lockwood, at 593-2870, or any board member. The other letter we're sending is to Mr. John Erminy and his Riverview project. We, the Volney Town Board, would like to extend our congratulations for your innovative idea for our community and to welcome you to the town of Volney. We wish you great success in your endeavor. The opportunity that this type of industry brings to our area is exciting, to say the least. It is with great excitement that we encourage the continuation of this project. We would like to offer our full cooperation and assistance with your dream project. The town board and supervisor are available to meet with you to assist you in any way we can. You can call the town clerk at 593-8288 and the supervisor, Dennis Lockwood, at 593-2870, or any board member. We want to welcome them to our community.
Yes.
Could I comment on that? I was going to ask anyways tonight. Has the board, any of the board members met any of these people? I know that it's been all over papers, television and everything, where Fulton and the mayor and all of the people have met with them. Has our board done anything prior to these 2 letters going out? Has anyone
Yes,
welcomed them to
people have been at the meetings. People have been at the meetings with them.
We did attend the press conferences for both these businesses.
And there just was no mention of the town board
That's-
being there or anything?
That's not an uncommon practice, it seems to be.
We did.
What's our board doing about that?
We
Not
did
being there?
introduce ourselves at those meetings and went and met the principals that were involved, and we're following up with the letter. These things, we didn't, we learned about it same time everybody else did during the press conference. We had no prior knowledge.
I understand it, but it's been a few months now, that they've been doing different things. And I've read nothing about our town officials being in on anything or welcoming them or not one mention at all. I mean, this is one reason I believe why Fulton thinks they own so many things. Because they put so much into this now and not one official has been mentioned in any of the articles or the TV.
We
So
were-
I think that our town has been very slack on that, and I do feel very bad about that. I would have thought we would have been out there doing something as a town, being that it's in Volney.
We were notified on Thursday by phone call to see if we could attend the press conference on Friday. So that's what we knew about.
Right.
We knew that there was some negotiations or some things going on with them, and since then, we've expressed our disappointment with them that people from the county and from other agencies are negotiating tax breaks and all these other things within property in our town, and we don't have anybody from our board that's even allowed to go or has been asked to go to the meetings and be part of this communications.
We
What?
didn't, Michelle, we didn't know they were going on.
We didn't know they were going on.
I'm just saying, I see a replay of what we had with them all, and I certainly hope that our board is going to step up and be noticed as our representatives of the town. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks this way, let's hear Volney being spoke about in these different things. Invite them, I mean, the letters are going out now, but, sometimes we can't wait to be asked. Sometimes we won't ever be asked. If I waited for you to ask me to comment, I would never be able to. So I think that, it's very sad. It's been a few months and there's been nothing. Voting.
Well, we understand that, and we're as disappointed as you are, and for some reason, we're not in the communications chain when all these interested people are involved in tax properties in our town. We're just not included. We have not been included, but we're pursuing that we will be either on the committee or when they have these meetings. We understand they've gone to dinner to discuss some of these things. And like I said, we got a phone call on Thursday. If we would like to attend the meeting on Friday, and we got there and they introduced the mayor of Fulton and never said a word. We went up and introduced ourselves to the man that's going to run the plant, and he asked us what's the difference between a town and a city.
Right.
Because I don't think he knew it was in the town of Volney.
This is my problem. That's where they should know. They should definitely
We
know.
are pursuing that we will be involved.
We have to count on you, people, to do that for us.
And we're pursuing that.
Let's hope so.
We have to have prior knowledge so that we can make ourselves known. And
I
that's,
understand that, but
that
there's been a lot of articles in the paper. I'm sure that you read the paper and seen all the articles. The Chamber of Commerce they've been to, several different things that Fulton has invited them to. I'll have them over for dinner if you'd like. We could just make them know that we are our hometown.
and the board too, Michelle?
What night's good for you?
Thursday. Next Thursday's good.
Okay.
You can bring dessert,
seriously,
Rick.
Does anybody see my point? I think that it's a crucial point. That if they don't even know the difference between the town and the city, well, we're getting lost again, just like we did with the other situation. And please, don't let that happen, because the town isn't going to.
Yes.
If I could, it's as much the county's error as it is certainly, they make some good points. We, at the county level, dropped the ball in not notifying the town board soon enough.
I'm sure.
And I've made it very clear to Mr. Treadwell and the agencies that work with him that the town of Volney exists and they should be invited in. We hope, other than being at his office every day, I'm hoping that will improve. And I apologize on behalf of the county for that.
But why would it just start with the city of Fulton and not the town of Volney, since it's town of Volney property?
I apologize for it. It doesn't seem like that could be overlooked.
Yeah.
But it
I'm not
happens
sure
well too
exactly
often.
what happened, and I think that this particular issue, I think your town board made it very well known to myself and Mr. Treadwell that they had been overlooked and slighted, and that shouldn't have happened. So we'll work on trying to do
about
that.
that county-wise.
Well, we're going to try to work to make sure that the Volney Town Board knows what's going on all the time.
You're
And
going to try to, or they're going to?
it's not me, so I'll make every effort to hold
You're
it.
representing them. I'm not pointing
Yeah.
to you, but you're representing them, so.
And because of that, I can't promise you, but he knows that it's important to the people of the town of Volney.
Okay, we're going to get this back to... Okay, I do have two. One is a letter from the state of New York. It's to Dear Supervisor Lockwood, and this is in reference to a letter I sent to the state back in July, I believe it was, but this is a further response to your request that the passing zone be closed on the above section of Route 3, which is Route 3 at Silk Road and Weller Road intersection there. Our traffic engineers have completed their review of this location and determined that the closing both directions of Route 3 passing zone in the vicinity of this above intersection would be appropriate. This work will be performed by our maintenance forces during the upcoming pavement marking sessions. Your interest in this matter has been greatly appreciated. I don't want to say it did take the loss of a life, I think, to get that through. And here's another one. I really do hate to read this, but Dear Dennis, effective February 28, 1998, I respectfully resign my position as Town Justice, Town of Volney. I wish to thank this board and those past for cooperation shown on this town justice office. Respectfully, David R. Reyes. That's all I have.
Read that one on CHIPS money, or
That's not even a tentative, that's only a tentative.
well, until we get it, we won't say anything.
Okay. Committee reports. Planning Board.
The planning board met on Monday evening, and we approved the January minutes. A gentleman came before us seeking a small split, which needed to be addressed by our code enforcement officer, Dan Russo, whom we referred him to. We also discussed the membership dues for the New York Planning Federation, and we also discussed the up-and-coming training session at the Jefferson Community College.
Thank you. Zoning Board.
The regular monthly meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals was held here last night, February 11th at 7 p.m. As there were no applications before us at this time, we discussed our training session that was held on January 27th at Drumlins in Syracuse. We have another training session coming up on April 2nd, 1998 at Jefferson Community College, where we expect to receive the rest of our hours of training required for the year. Our next stated meeting is March 11th, 1998, here at the Town Hall at 7 p.m., and anyone wishing to attend our meetings is welcome.
Thank you. Code Enforcement.
The month of January is pretty quiet. It's not normally a time for a lot of permits to be issued. We did do one permit for a home. Total fees collected were $345. We did issue 3 certificates of occupancy for homes that were completed. We did 8 new construction inspections, 3 fire safety inspections, and 3 zoning inspections for a total of 14 inspections. We had 3 different building code violations reported that we're currently working on.
Thank you. Dog Control.
I wish I could say the month of January is quiet, but it wasn't. Had 111 calls or complaints. Held 9 dogs at the kennel. There's 1 dog at the present time. 2 dogs were adopted out. 2 dogs were redeemed. 5 dogs euthanized. 9 dogs reported lost. 1 dog bite. And traveled 825 miles for the month. In the last 4 Saturday nights, every Saturday night from 9 to 11, 911 called, and 1 dog was hit by a car, killed. 1 dog was, the state police had to shoot. 1 dog, we did find the owner, it was hurt. And the other dog we had to put down later on. Also, the quarantine is in effect for now the 1st of May in all of Oswego County.
Thank you. Recreation.
February 7th, we had the Valentine's Make and Take crafts here at the Town Hall, and we had 7 kids show up. On January 28th, I tried to have a parent support group meeting, but no parents showed up. Due to the weather, I believe I'm going to have to cancel the snow sliding party as there is no snow. And up-and-coming events are March 14th, a swimming party at Granby Pool, and March 21st, a story hour here at the Town Hall.
Historian.
I don't have any reports for her, but wall there that she's going to do, we've got things from Crane, all in frames, and as soon as we get the wall prepared, Howard's got his part done, so we can just put the wall up. So she's
I know I talked with Fern today, and she said she couldn't make it tonight because they were preparing for the wedding Saturday for the minister of the church over there, and they were doing a lot of cooking, but she said she was going to fax the report over. She didn't get to that.
I didn't receive it, unless it's on what you gave me.
I don't think so. I didn't look at it.
I didn't either.
Okay, Highway.
Expenses for January 1998, supplies and maintenance $16,802.55, payroll $27,916.67, for a total of $44,719.22. We reimbursed from the county $12,775.98 for snow plowing. Payroll hours, 1,054 hours on machinery repair, 600 hours plowing and sanding, 36 hours coal patching, 30 hours beaver dams, 48 hours on drainage work, for a total of 1,768 hours. There was 722 hours overtime. We currently have 7 full-time employees, 1 full-time employee working part-time on a permanent partial disability, 1 full-time employee on workman's compensation, 2 part-time employees on an on-call basis. We currently have 5,000 yards of sand and 400 tons of salt on hand. And if the groundhog is right, that should be enough.
Old business.
Pierce Drive? Dennis?
What's that?
I was going to ask Dan if he, on that Pierce Drive issue about the hedge or the fence, did you ever get back to the gentleman on there about that came in? I know you talked to us about it, but did you
Yeah,
ever get back?
I can send him a letter. Our case has indicated they hope to be able to put a fence up in the spring. If they can afford to do so. I can send him a letter telling him where it stands.
Because he's contacted the board about what's going on down there. That it should go through you first to inform them.
New business. Petitions. Okay, we'll go with start our resolutions.
Resolution 9856, approval of regular meeting minutes. Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 8th, 1998, having been distributed without reading. I move.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
The motion's carried.
Resolution 98-57, payment of vouchers. Move to authorize the supervisor to pay vouchers 6 through 60, general fund, in the amount of $24,094.02, and highway vouchers 7 through 33 in the amount of $16,802.55 from designated accounts. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Resolution 98-58, accept resignation of Justice Rath. Move to accept the resignation of Justice Honorable David A. Rath, effective February 28, 1998. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Regretfully, aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
The motion's carried.
Resolution 98-59, advertise for justice position opening. Move to authorize the town clerk to advertise for the justice position vacated by the resignation of Honorable David A. Rath, whose resignation is effective February 28, 1998. This appointment would expire December 31st, 1998, at which time the elected official would take office.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Resolution 98-60, franchise agreement with Time Warner. Move to renew the agreement to provide the town of Volney with service with Time Warner as per franchise agreement prepared by Time Warner and reviewed and approved by our attorney for the town of Volney. Term of the franchise shall be 10 years, commencing on the 12th day of February 1998 and terminating on the 12th day of February 2008.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Daiquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lackey?
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Resolution 9861, advertise for local law for senior exemptions. Move to authorize the town clerk to advertise for local law 9801, increasing the income eligibility level for real property tax exemptions for persons 65 years of age or over.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Daiquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lackey?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Resolution 98-62, decision on day property zone change. Move to deny the zone change on the property of the Sally Day located on County Route 57 south from R1 to R2. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye, but I would like just to say one thing, that I would like them to, because we have the lack of information, I hope they will still continue with the thought of developing this property.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Daiquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lackey?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Resolution 98-63, advertise for mowing parks and cemeteries. Move to authorize the town clerk to advertise for sealed bids for mowing the Volney Town Park and the cemeteries on County Route 6 and State Route 3. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Daiquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lackey?
Aye.
The motion's carried.
Resolution 98-64, posting of the roads. Move to authorize the town clerk to advertise the temporary posting of town roads restricting vehicles with a gross load in excess of 2 tons per axle. This shall take effect immediately upon publication and continue until May 1st, 1998.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Daiquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lackey?
Aye.
The motion is carried.
Resolution 98-65, awarding bid for elevated water storage tank. On the recommendation of the town engineer, CNS, I move to award the bid to Brown Steel Contractors Incorporated, the low bidder on the Oswego Healthcare Campus Water District 300,000-gallon water tank project, with a proposal of $584,100. Mr. Rickoff stated that CNS has checked their references and their work has been acceptable. The town engineer, CNS, recommended the town board award the contract for the construction of the Oswego Healthcare Campus Water District 300,000-gallon water tank to Brown Steel Contractors Incorporated, Noonan, Georgia, with the provision that funds are received from Onondaga County Water Authority. Therefore, on behalf of the town of Volney, move to award the bid to Brown Steel Contractors Incorporated for the construction of the Oswego Healthcare Campus Water District's 300,000-gallon water tank, contracted to cost $584,100 in accordance with their proposal, subject to the town of Volney receiving the funding for this project from Aqua and submitting the necessary insurance and performance bond documents to council for review and acceptance.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
The motion is carried.
Oh, I got this one. Resolution 98-66, creation of Seneca Hill Sewer District. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Volney have considered the creation of the Seneca Hill Sewer District pursuant to Article 12A of the Town Law, and whereas the Town Board, having received maps, plans, and reports from the project engineers concerning the creation of the district and having held a public hearing thereon. Now therefore be it moved as follows. Section 1, that the proposed creation of the Seneca Hill Sewer District is subject to seeker and that it does not involve a federal agency. Section 2, that the Town Board of the Town of Volney pursuant to seeker declares itself to be lead agency and after review of the project plans and the short form environmental form hereby determines that this project to be an unlisted action under current seeker guidelines. Section 3, that after further deliberation and completion of Part 2 of the short environmental assessment form, the Town Board hereby determines that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and accordingly directs the preparation of filing of a seeker negative declaration thereon. Section 4, this resolution shall take effect immediately. The question of the adoption of the foregoing resolution and order was duly put to a roll call, which results as follows. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
The motion is carried.
Resolution 98-67, approving the establishment of the proposed sewer district. Move to approve the establishment of the proposed sewer district in the town of Volney, Oswego County, state of New York, to be known as the Seneca Hill Sewer District, as being in the public interest. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
The motion is carried.
I'd like to introduce our assessor. I think we did this last time, but he's here. David Gray. I'd also like to introduce our two county legislators, Kim Seeger and Carl Rusaw. And this is one of our engineers that we were just doing, Mr. Rickoff from CNS Engineers, that's here with us tonight.
Supervisor, sometime before the meeting's over, I'd like to discuss the Oswego County Health Center and the Aqua agreement that was presented to the board, the construction agreement.
Okay, do you want to do that now, or?
Yeah, I guess I can. Have you had a chance to look at the proposed agreement that was given to you? It should have been sent to you within the last week.
It got taken away from me, and I haven't seen it back.
I've looked at it, and Ron Carr, the attorneys, looked at it, and we're pretty much in agreement that it's all right. There was one concern we had, and that was in there. They talked about the cost of the formation and construction of the water system, but they didn't say anything in there about how it was going to be paid and the time that it was going to be paid. So what they did, This is a letter that was addressed to you. I just got this today. Here's, I guess we can share that one.
You read it.
Same thing. Basically, what it says is that Aqua agrees to make monthly payments upon bills being submitted to them by the town of Volney. Since the project is, the cost of it is probably $1.6 million, and it's not going to be completed until October. There's going to be contractors working on it that need to get paid right away, so what we've got is them to agree to this. It'll be a supplement to the agreement that they have before you now. What I'd like is if the board could pass a resolution authorizing you to sign that agreement. We've looked at it, Ron Carr's looked at it. If you want to make it a contingent upon your discussing it with Mr. Carr, we can do that. Might get some type of an agreement or a resolution passed tonight. Concerning, as you know, the signing of that agreement is pretty important to get that signed so that we can authorize the contractor to start working on the tower.
Okay. Somebody can draw up a quick resolution here. Jess, you're good at making one.
Don't you already have the authority to sign?
Well, the attorney wanted to direct the...
Yeah, we looked into that. Barb looked into it. What the authority you have now is just for signing of permits and applications for the construction of it. Doesn't something like this would take more. We'd like to keep it separate because it is such a large sum of money. The other ones are just for applications.
Jerry, let's approve,
The OCWA construction agreement. So if you haven't had a chance to talk to Ron about it, you can make a contingent upon his approval of it, you can do that.
Oh, it would be.
What's this got to say? This has got to go into an agreement with Aqua, right?
Well, what they want to do is they want to make this, they want to keep the agreement like it is so we don't have to go back and change it. It's just going to be like a supplement to the agreement, just an addition for them explaining what they're going to, how they're going to make the payments, the time frame and the procedure for making the payments.
I think that what he's after is just a resolution stating that the board is going to authorize the signing of the agreement with Aqua.
Construction agreement.
Contingent on our attorneys.
Attorney on approval. We got to go back. We got to have a resolution number, right?
98-68 will be the next one.
Yeah.
This is just entered into an agreement with Aqua, right?
Yes, what's your, this construction agreement is what it is. I should have brought a copy, but I didn't know that somebody took it from me.
They took the whole packet.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to...
What I can do is I can get the names of the agreements. There's a construction agreement, and there's one for the Seneca Oswego Healthcare Campus construction agreement, and there's one concerning the Seneca Hill. I get the exact names of them. I can give them to Barb tomorrow.
Do you want it, Dennis? Do you want me to go get it?
Is there a resolution in there?
The resolution of the agreement.
Was it sent?
Actual agreements, or?
Was it sent? No, was it sent?
No, I don't think it was.
We had the packet, we lost the packet, and now we're getting it back.
Well, she's looking for that. I'd like to bring up another item to discuss. Aqua's asked us if the town would pass a resolution where you would consider seeking other alternative financing for this water district. In particular, we're trying to get the state revolving.
The Whitman told me to take it away.
Is that what it was? Let's see how many there are. Oh, there's 4 copies of it. This is the lease agreement, and this is the construction and operation.
This don't have any resolution in here.
No, there's no resolution in there.
So we're gonna have to make one up. You got it figured out?
No, I haven't got it.
Well, what the resolution can say is that you're authorized the supervisor to sign the construction and operation agreement for the Oswego Healthcare Campus Water District and the, whatever the name of that is, lease agreement for operation of Seneca Hill Water District contingent upon review and approval by council. You know, something like that if you want.
How come you haven't got it all written out?
I thought Ron had already discussed it with you.
Well, it got pulled away from us. So. And this has got to be done tonight, Chair?
Yes, I'd like it to. The problem we have is once we have this approved here and signed, then we have to go to Aqua and get it signed and get it back to the town, and Aqua doesn't meet until I think it's the 26th of this month. I guess I kind of took you by surprise on this.
Yeah, why didn't you mention it yesterday when I were talking with you?
I thought Ron was already taking care of that.
And this thing has got to be worded so that it's going to... You got to have 2 of them.
Well, yeah, there's 2 different agreements. The resolution is authorizes the supervisor to sign these 2 agreements contingent upon the review and approval by town council.
Okay. Have a special meeting on it.
Jerry, can we get it drawn up and have a special meeting and just pass the rest, because you don't have to bring it to them until the 26th?
Well, I'm trying to get them to sign it before that. I'm trying to get them to do a special meeting too to sign it. If you can do a special meeting, today is, I guess we can do one like Monday or something, or I'd like to get it done as soon as possible. And we have to get this signed so that we can tell, because that's part of the resolution signed for the awarding the contract for the tower. The tower is contingent upon this, and the contractor doesn't want to really start until this agreement's
I'm
signed.
available Monday if they want to do it. We can have it drawn up or written up to, and we don't have to have it contingent if Ron agrees with it, because he can draw it up for us.
But we can have one, Monday's a holiday, don't we? The board meet on Monday?
No, court meets on Monday. We'll have it.
It's a holiday, isn't it President's Day?
Yeah.
Dennis, what do you feel more comfortable doing? You want to have Ron review it and talk?
Ron's already reviewed these.
He has reviewed them?
Yes. When we met with him the other day, he already said to go ahead and sign them. Then CNS pulled them out of the office and said, don't sign them. They wanted to go through it again. There was something they wanted to change, which I guess this is what they wanted to change.
We got that added, so.
All right, so then all you really need is
Just a resolution so that you people are authorizing me to sign these.
the construction operation agreement and lease agreement for the operation of Seneca Hill Water District.
No. No. I have everything.
I think that's how we get it right.
Oh, yeah. You got it written, Jeff?
No, I haven't got it written. I just...
This is what I got. If you want, authorizing town supervisor to sign the construction and operating agreement and lease agreement for the Seneca Hill Water District. Is there anything else that has to
Do you want to make it contingent upon approval by town council or not?
He's already done it.
Verbally looked at it and told us everything was all right.
Well, he told me that was pretty. And I was looking for him the other day, and then Barb said that you people pulled him away and didn't want us to sign him at that point, so.
Yeah, but now we gotta back up and go back into resolutions to make this. The proper order of business.
Start at the top, work our way down again?
Yeah, start at the top, work our way down. Here.
Here.
Okay, we'll go back into...
Just go back into resolution.
Back into resolutions. You want to read that?
Yep.
Best way you can. Put the contingent on the town attorney in there, too.
Contingent. Approval. Okay. Resolution 98-68, authorizing the town supervisor to sign the construction and operating agreement and lease agreement for the Seneca Hill Water District contingent upon approval from the town's attorney.
You do have the Onondaga Water Authority in there, with the Onondaga Water Authority.
No, with the Onondaga Water Authority.
I'll just give this to Barb, she did the exact thing for you.
I'll second it.
Here's the exact thing here. Then there was...
We have another surprise, huh?
This one just came on. Have you
Wait a minute, we got to vote on
We
this.
got to vote on it, yeah.
Do you want me to call the roll?
Yes.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartman?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Martin?
Aye.
The motion is carried.
This one just was asked of me tonight, so I want to bring it from the board. And I believe if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable passing a resolution now, you want to discuss it, we can. But what we've been asked to do is to have the board pass a resolution considering that you would consider other alternative financing within the next year for this water district. One of the alternative financings that we're working on now is the state revolving fund. We have the application in for them. That probably won't happen until sometime this summer, as far as if we get the financing on it. And another possible way would be to bond it. ARC was asking us if the town would be willing to pass a resolution stating that you're going to pursue other alternative financing for it within the next year.
Sure, that gives us a year to do that.
Yeah, I know amongst ourselves we did discuss this, because if we can get a lower interest rate through the federal, we were going to try to get it anyways.
Yeah.
But the big thing was to get the project started.
Right.
And if they were willing to support it, and we'd go with them, then we'd look for other means of financing in the future.
I think they brought this up at meetings before.
Yeah, we've discussed it with them, and it's been brought up, and if we could get the state revolving fund, the interest rate would be a lot lower, and overall the cost would be a lot less. But for some reason, they would like a resolution passed by the board. Saying that you pursue it.
I think you better give us, we will discuss that and make it.
Give us a few days.
That's fine, I just got it about an hour ago, so. That's the only time. I don't have any more surprises for you.
What is the status of that state revolving? Have you heard? Because I know there's levels of importance for projects. Do you know where we are on that list?
They're on the list. They're not the last time I checked, and it's changed since then, because now we have the Seneca Hill Water District being involved in this. Before we made the initial application, it was just Oswego Hospital. Now that Seneca Hill's in it, and it's going to move up. But before it was on the list, but it was down below their cutoff line, where they have the first, I don't know how many it is that they're going to do, but now that we got Seneca Hill in there, because it's an existing problem with the lack of water pressure and the reliability of the water up there, that it's going to move up on the list. We're going to start, now that we've got some plans done and we're more into it, we're going to go to the next stage of the application. We did the preliminary application to get on the list to notify them that we were seeking funds. Now we'll go to the next step.
Does that go for grants also? When you would do a water improvement rather than a new construction? This is a water improvement? Well, there's some grants?
It's, what we're doing is just trying to get the whole thing funded, and it's, I don't believe that this is what a grant where you're given the money and don't have to give it back. What this is, as far as I know, is a low-interest loan.
Well, they either have low interest or no interest, right?
Yeah.
We'll be happy with low interest, but we'd rather have the no interest.
Yeah, depending on the needs of the people up there, yeah. And that's what we're going to do in the next step, is to get going on that part of it, on the actual funding and what we can do on it. And for some reason, I mean, everybody knows, it's been said right from the beginning that we were going to try for it, but they just want a resolution saying that for some reason. If you want to discuss it, then maybe at the next meeting.
We'll have one ready for the next meeting.
Okay. The next meeting, I'll try and have another surprise for you.
Tell us a day ahead of time so we can write up the resolution.
That's all I have. If anybody has any questions about the status of the project out there.
Maybe we could give the people
Let the public know the status.
Well, what we're talking about is the design and construction of the water line for the Oswego Healthcare Campus. A water district was formed for them. We've done the design of a 3,000-gallon elevated water storage tank that's gone out to bid. We have awarded the contract for that tonight. We're in the process of doing the design for approximately 14,000 feet of water line to serve that sewer at campus. And we're doing a pump station for it. We're in the process of doing the design now. We hope to go out to bid within the next month or so on that part of it. And we're also doing sewer to serve the campus. What the sewer is going to do is go with Minetto Bridge into the town of Minetto. It's going to involve a pump station and a gravity sewer. We've done the design for the pump station, and we're contacting the town of Minetto for permission to take the sewage to their treatment plant. We're working on the agreement with that now. And we've also, when we did the water, we're taking the water and tying it into the existing Seneca Hill Water District so that it can improve their pressure and have a more reliable source of water for them. That's basically what we're doing.
Has anybody checked that bridge to see if it's going to hold the weight? I was told by the highway superintendent that if it was going to go over underneath that bridge, that they were going to have to rebuild parts of that bridge.
Well, the bridge itself, there's two parts of it, which, if you're talking about the county part or the state part? The old part?
Yeah.
We've worked with the county highway department on that and submitted how we're going to go across the bridge, and I believe we've gotten a permit for that part of it. We're working with the state now to get them to review and approve how we're going to cross it, how we're going to hang it from the bridge. So we are looking at if the bridge can take it.
Is it going to require rebuilding part of that bridge? It will go as is.
Yeah, we can't. The bridge supports the columns. We have to tie our sewer line to the columns, not to the actual bridge structure. We can't do it to that because, like the county told us, that won't hold it. So we have to do it on the actual columns that are holding up the bridge. So maybe that's what they were talking about to you. Because that was the first thing they told us. They can't go on that part on the decking of the bridge. They said it won't handle it. So, and then the state part's a new bridge, and we have to show them. We have to do calculations showing them that the additional weight of our sewer line won't affect the bridge. And there's certain load ratings on the bridge. We have to show them that we're not going to decrease that load rating.
Is that a cast or a plastic?
Our pipe, it's a cast. The trouble with plastic pipe is because it's exposed, it's expansion and contraction. The length we're going across that bridge, even though it doesn't expand or contract that much, over that length of pipe, it makes a lot of difference. So it's going to be a ductile iron pipe. And it'll be encased in wrapped in insulation. That was pretty much the hardest part about the design, is trying to get it across that bridge.
What's your alternative if the state's not going to allow it to go across?
They will. They just want us, I mean, the bridge, the design has been done on the bridge, and they kind of knew that something like this would go across, so it's been designed for it. We just have to show them, prove to them that it'll work. So it's just kind of a added assurance for them and more protection for them. It's supposedly been designed for that. And we have some preliminary calculations that they furnished us showing that it will. We just have to go into more detail. Pretty involved process. It takes about 2 weeks to do. But all indications is it'll work. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you for the surprise. Public comment.
Don't look at Michelle. We're all looking at you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Future meetings, the planning board will be meeting March 9th, 7 p.m. The bill signing agenda and preparation will be March 10th at 6:30. The zoning board of appeals March 11th, and that's at 7 p.m. And a public hearing on local law for senior exemptions March 12th, and that's at 7 p.m. Regular town board meeting March 12th, immediately following the public hearing. Anyone like to move to adjourn?
No, we can move it.
Oh, well, we said public. Nobody said anything or raised their hand. Yes.
She was checking her nose.
A couple months ago, it was brought up that Dave Winfield had gone to Albany to brief, I guess, for the town for our...
Well, it was Syracuse. It wasn't Albany.
Syracuse, okay. And you, at that time, you didn't know what Dave had, what had transpired. You were going to find out, and I was just wondering what had happened.
Okay, you probably could answer that better than me. That's actually hasn't happened yet, right? That's coming up.
Right. Paperwork hasn't come down through to us, and I have not been informed. Actually, Dennis would probably receive the first notification. There has been a slight kick, but it's very minimal. In other words, there is a slight equalization increase, very minimal. We are presently, our tentative equalization rate for the 1997, affecting the 1998 assessment period is 5.95, okay, and it will go up slightly from that. And when I'm notified by the state of New York from Albany, you're welcome to know. I don't know, maybe we should publish in the paper. It's common knowledge at any time.
Why is it only slight? I mean, when I talked to the man in Albany, I was told that why it was so high was because of the deal with Miller's, us losing Miller's. Of course, this has been going on for years, nothing has been addressed about it. Well, and they said that only, he had to go to an agreement board about it so that rate would get changed.
Right. The equalization process is a very convoluted process, and I'm not trying to avoid an explanation because it sounds like I'm trying to hide something. It's to put it in very as simple terms, which it's easier for me to understand too, is that when the state develops a number for the town of Volney, which is a measuring of the town's value. It takes into many ideas or many processes, okay? And they set a number and we're to move to it, okay? And in those periods of time, if they set a number and things occur and we cannot make that number or come to that number, so to speak, they develop an equalization rate, okay, which doesn't necessarily match our values. So therefore, our equalization rate can increase or decrease dramatically. Things have changed in the community, and our equalization rate will be stabilizing, I guess I can say that. But it's going to take a while because of some of the things.
Because in 1 year, it drastically changed.
Right. And
so it takes a lot longer than 1 year to get it back where it should be.
Well, again,
I'm not saying you. I know it's the state, so I'm just trying to understand.
It's a process. It's a process that occurs, and there are many things. There's no enemy in this. There's no one to particularly blame. It's a process in which we are all in. And some of it is just the fact of the way the equalization process works. State of New York, like several other states who were in the old original colonies, have town government. And each one of them have multiple school districts. We have 4 school districts. So in that process, it makes it a very convoluted way of coming up with a number. And it pits one municipality against another. And the state does the best they can with the information they have to come up with a number. The idea behind the state is to continue to help us move along and us to move along to try to get those numbers closer. And it's going to take a little bit, but it will. It will happen. I don't know whether I answered a whole lot, but, and I'm not trying to put it off, it's just something that doesn't happen overnight.
If I could, we've had at the legislature today a little presentation, and he's absolutely right. The equalization rate, the way the state does it, is really crazy. But Jack Tierney tried to help educate the legislators and the public at our meeting about the equalization rate, and he provided us with a little brochure. I haven't had a chance to read it, but it is provided by the state, and I certainly would be happy to make copies and share it with anyone.
Yeah, because I know there's some of us are really concerned. Last year, in 1 year, we took a 46% increase in our school tax.
And I'm not sure if this would answer all the questions, but...
So, I mean, it's like, and then we were told it was because of Miller shutting down, and, we just kept getting all these different stories and whatever, and it's like, that was a big chunk of money all of a sudden when we had no idea it was even going to happen.
Well, there are many factors that play roles in this, and actually anyone saying, well, maybe it was Miller's, it was this, actually everyone could be right to some degree. Okay, so when you put it all together.
Well, I was going by the guy.
Right, and the person, whoever said, could be right, partially right, and again, there's no enemies, there's no one person to blame or one institution. It's a process which everyone needs to enter into and know where we're going.
Can I just ask one thing before it launch? But Dave, didn't the industries trying to get them back into balance with what their value was, trying to get them back in line? I mean, that had the biggest impact on the 47%. I mean, the only way you're going to get that 47% back is if you gain another $50 million in profit or assessed value. So that's why we might gain little pieces of it as we add things, but you're not going to get anything as dramatic as we did as far as the increase.
I was led to believe, too, by what the guy at the state told me, that it was like our town had been valued. It's like your property was valued at a certain rate. And at that time, it was rated that high because of Miller's and then their production. And then the problem was when Miller shut down, and also when they found out they'd been taxed too much, that we, the town, did not get that straightened around the right way. So it was still saying our town was worth X amount of dollars when we're really not worth that much. And the state is charging us more. They've set this rate to saying, you are worth this much, and we really aren't because we don't have the industry that we did have. That's what the guy in Albany was telling me.
And he is right. I mean,
So that's what I was trying to get after, was like, what's going to be done to get this straightened around?
A portion of what he said is very correct, and if he was to expand on this, and I always hate to get into this because you go around and around and around on it, and it's because of everyone's level of knowing where they're at or how understanding the process. I've been in this for 10 years, and I still can, I sound like I'm talking in circles. I know that I've been to several meetings where the experts who develop these, they fear to say equalization rate because your eyes glaze over. Everyone that you start talking about it's like, gee, what's this guy doing? Where are we going? And all it is it's the method used to try to come up with something fair. But there are so many players in those, making those numbers, and they're all moving targets. The values towns go up and go down, depending on their valuing. And what we're looking at down the road, City of Fulton will go to 100% here this year. We hope to do this as soon as I can get things together to do. And as we continue to do this and looking at these all the time, it's a process needed, then your industries will come into play and come into line. It's something that New York has been far behind. It has lagged. It's something, the process in all the state of New York, it's not just Volney or any one particular, it's a process that needs to be worked at. And if you look at other states, they do it countywide so that everyone is treated in the county. If you look at the town of Scriba in comparisons to, I mean, I'm being, you say, gee, the individual lives in the town of Scriba, their taxes are much lower. Yes, because that is the uniqueness of the way we have town government at this time. And unfortunately, it makes an uneven process, and that's one of the reasons why it's convoluted.
I'd like to ask, how many areas are you assessor for?
At this point in time, I have 4 towns.
And how do you divide your time? What time is Volney getting, and what time are the other areas? What are the other areas that you are assessor for?
Okay, I do 3 towns, including Volney in Oswego County, town of Hannibal, town of Hastings, town of Volney, and a municipality in Cuba County, town of Victory. Okay, largely my time is devoted on what is needed at the time. Volney right now is occupying a great deal of my time, and probably will. And that's not a criticism of the town. It's something that needs to be done. Again, probably I will divest myself of a smaller municipality, town of Victory in Cuba County. I was able to bring that to 100% last year, and that is up and running. It was at a fractional base for over 40, 50 years, and I already have someone in line which will take that after they get done their revaluation.
So bottom line, not getting into equalization or anything else, bottom line to the grievance that we went to, that our representative went to in Syracuse, you're saying that the percentage went up?
There was a slight, in other words, the state felt after their informal hearings that they had with Dave Winfield that the value, stated value, possibly could be changed, and that would therefore increase the equalization rate.
Okay, to make everybody, when the equalization rate goes up, that means it's really good for us that the rate goes down, to make people understand, because I didn't understand when I was talking to the guy from Albany, and he was like,
I don't want to take a lot of time, and I just, one more thing, and just briefly, is that when you have school districts, because most of you are, I guess, in the Fulton School District.
we're in Mexico, that's why we were upset, because we ended up getting signed with them.
In the Mexico School District, of course,
Even though we're in town of Albany.
they have a piece of pie that they say, gee, we've got to raise $800,000. And so the purpose of the equalization rate is that they have many towns in their school district. So they take, and each town comes up with the number of properties, the assessed value that is in each town that's in the school district. They use the equalization rate to find out what the full value is. So they want to equalize the full number, and so that when they have the pie, they got to divide it up. Well, obviously, when the equalization rate goes down, as you said, that says that the town of Volney is worth more money, so therefore, they get a bigger piece of the pie come budget time. Okay? So that's how it works. But in that, it seems real simple. Say, gee, I got the equalization rate figured out how it works, but how that's calculated, then it becomes a very
I've worked
nebulous
extensively on
thing.
it, so I know. I've been with the county and I've worked with several people for a day trying to, but I understand all that.
Yeah.
Bottom line, that's what I wanted to get to.
And I'm glad to show you pieces of it at a time, and that's the best way to try to understand the equalization rate process is by taking pieces of it and understanding them individually, and then after all, you put it all together. All right?
Anyone else? We already know what the future meetings are, right? We've done that one.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Counselor Warner?
Aye.
Counselor Hartranft?
Aye.
Counselor McCormick?
Aye.
Counselor Jaquin?
Aye.
Supervisor Lockwood?
Aye.
Supervisor